Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Kapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm needing new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5. Kapla. It certainly helps if you add yourself to the stream. Oh my God. Apologies for that. I was in the middle of testing the microphone and forgot that I was in the middle of testing the microphone when the stream began. Yeah, it is an unexpected bird stream. So welcome to everybody who showed up. I of course, that minute or two from when I go live until somebody actually shows up in the chat, and you worry, you wonder, is this going to be the day that nobody comes? Nobody shows up, which is all possible. And I've always been one to worry about what's going to happen one day. And to me, it's always helped to mitigate the worst that could happen. Like I knew when I had my very outstanding job with my very outstanding boss, Mr. Frank, and I was making a lot of money, and I was going and traveling and just living a life that I did not deserve to live, that one day it was going to end. Most likely because Mr. Frank was going to die. And that's kind of what happened, although I managed to keep going for a few more years. And I really was not expecting that it was me who was going to be checking out. I fully expected the company would one day collapse without Mr. Frank, and I would be, you know, I'd get a little bit of a parachute, but I would eventually have to make my way in this crazy world on my own. I remember talking to people who didn't understand exactly what the life was like, and I explained it like not that I've ever surfed, but clearly I was a surfer that caught a wave, the grandest wave you could catch, but eventually this wave is going to come to an end, like all waves do, and you're going to be the guy who caught that wave, not the guy surfing the wave one day. And it's good and it's wonderful, and enjoy it while you can, but the day's going to come when you're going to just be able to talk about it and not live it anymore. And so that's pretty much how I thought about my life while I was surfing that wave for the 10 years, just about 10 years I could. It was an incredible wave. But we are now 20 years past the start of that wave. And you can only talk about it so much. To be honest, I guess I was never expecting people to have any interest in anything I did other than that wave. But then, for some reason, people seem to still care about what happened after that wave. Now, what happened after that wave was a lot worse. In some ways, a lot of ways, it's certainly worse. I just wanted to double check that the mic was actually still working. Yes, it is. Okay, the mic is working good. Because I'm going to go back to the beginning in a second here. But yeah, so I really didn't expect people to still really care what I talk about. And the fact that anybody showed up, I understand it's a gift. And beyond the fact that Rock Solid actually purchased a gift membership, thank you, Rock Solid. And John Araki for the 99-cent super sticker, super poop. Thank you, John Araki. Besides those actual gifts, everyone being here and anyone listening to this after the fact, that's the true gift. That's the gift that I never expected. And then to see Rock Solid Productions, the first person here today, Rox, I need to apologize to you. You, more than most, let me come clean. Rock Solid has been a friend to this channel, a friend to me for a long time. He has done nothing. Well, he has his jokes. He has his moments. But the reality is he has offered a ton of advice on how to grow the channel, on how to do things. And I've accepted it, some of it, as I often do. I don't tell people to shut the fuck up or anything. I listen to what they have to say. Sometimes I take their advice. Oftentimes I don't. It's nothing personal against them, and I totally am happy to get any type of advice they're willing to give. But that said, I know Rock Solid to be a very good person. And Thanksgiving came, and I happened on whatever the fuck Twitter is called these days. And I saw a post from him that hit me hard. He had a family member losing a fight with cancer. And I didn't know what to say. I looked at it all day. I went back to that Twitter page, and all day, the only post I saw was Rock Solid and his brother. And I tried to respond. I tried, but I couldn't do it. I tried. It wasn't right to joke. It wasn't right. It was a serious post. And I didn't know what to say. And I didn't say anything. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rox. I just figured, well, the day is over. Probably just looked like I never saw this. And moved on. But the reality is I couldn't move on. I care too much. I care too much about you. And I am so sorry that you're in the place you're in, that your brother is in the place that he was put in. And you're absolutely right. Fuck cancer. Fuck hospitals. Fuck it all. We need I don't know what we need. We just fuck it. Fuck it. Go live. But Mama Frey saw me. She didn't have any clue as to why I was depressed. I really don't have that much of a clue as to why I was depressed. I knew part of it. I feel bad. I feel bad for Rock Solid. I feel bad for other friends who are dealing with similar things. I feel bad for myself who's dealing with things. I feel bad for Mama Prey who's dealing with shit like me. Not just me. She deals with stuff going on from family members, not even in this city and state. It all falls on Mama Prey. It all falls on Mama Prey. And as much as we love Sis O'Prey and Nephew O'Prey, things aren't perfect. And the worry and it all adds up. But yeah, rock solid. I am sorry. I feel so bad, and I feel worse that I couldn't find a way in 255 characters or whatever it is these days. They even I could have put a fucking emoji, put what should I put? Put a sad. That's what I had up. I had a fucking sad emoji, and I didn't hit enter. What the fuck would hitting a fucking sad emoji do for a man? And it just, well, Mama Frey saying, would have let them know I was thinking of you. I couldn't do it. I felt dirty, and I'm sorry. And now I feel worse for bringing it up now that you were here and you wanted to talk about something else, I'm sure. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Kaplaberto for Hail, Piroga. Hail, Piroga. Resolute Germ says, hello, Resolute. And then Rock Solid was warning me that there was no audio, and he said, no joke. No joke. And I knew at that point. Jesus Christ. Thank you again. The Random Menace is greetings from the future. Indeed unexpected. And I hope unexpected and depressing. John Aragi says, my YouTube app is acting squirrely today. Squirrely. Interesting. And Roxanne says, wait, I think it's me. No, it wasn't you. Random Menace says the audio is 5x5. It is now, but it started silent. Roxanne says my car head unit locked up. Disregard. No, it didn't lock up. It was legit. Maybe 15 seconds without audio. Random Menace says, no bird. Captain Phantom Nerd says, hello, Captain. Roxanne says, late Prey 5 was both early and late. That is true. Eagle Rider, wow, Eagle Rider is here. Says, it's been forever since I could make your streams. How you doing, bird? Well, you see how I'm doing. Eagle Rider, I'm glad you are doing well. I'm glad you're out there. I don't know how well you're doing. I assume you're doing well, but who knows? John Araki says, hashtag late lives matter. Rock Solid says, worrying about nobody coming. Sounds like my prom night. I never went to my high school prom. There was no point. I wasn't going to have a date. What the fuck? It was going to be on a boat. Why would you put a prom on a boat? It made no fucking sense. Keep everybody on the fucking... it just... Yeah, no prom for me. The closest they ever did to a prom was our 5th grade dance, and I got turned down by the girl I asked. I ended up going with a different girl. I mean, we all kind of still friends to this day, but yeah. I mean, it was 5th grade. There was nothing going on. 5th grade, parents all there. Not even a fucking spin the bottle. Kronos says, "Hey, Bird, kind of early." Yeah, it's early. It's early. Mama Frey saw me particularly depressed. I've been dealing with health issues, as you guys know. The scheduling of my streams is something I've been considering. I don't know that it's working out well for me, and I spend all morning worrying about how I'm going to be come afternoon. And then half the days I'm exhausted come afternoon. And other days most of the days I end up exhausted. Mama Frey says, "How about trying something happy?" Dave G Sound says, "Hello, Karoga." Gorilla's Random Thought says, "Son of a bitch, Bird is alive." Rockstar says, "Bird was a traveler before the traveler." Kronos says, "Bird is the word." And Resolute Germ with a 16-month membership super chat says, "Don't worry, Bird. The only way you will have no one at a stream is if you forget to start." Thank you, Resolute. Rock Solid says, "What's a Kronos?" Kronos says, "Bird crashes a plane. Bird crashes a plane. He has a parachute. Go figure." That's those days, Kronos. Those days. Rock Solid says, "I had a friend try to catch a wave once, but he found it too difficult without any arms." God damn it. Hello, Hakeem. Kronos never surfed. Neither have I. I've never even attempted to surf Kronos. Never even attempted. And thank you again, Rock Solid, for the gifted membership. Let's see, did anybody get the membership? Thomas Preston got the Rock Solid membership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me look through the chat, see who put at Berto25, so I know I don't miss those chats. Kronos says, "You're not a shit." Thank you, Kronos. You are, however, a dictator. Thank you, Kronos. Thank you. Okay. Let's, Hakeem says, "I float only." You float. Now the Beach Boys are stuck in my brain, says Kronos. Eagle Rider says, "Bird, I never expect the best, but that is okay." Kronos is surfing USA. Rock Solid says, "Bird Prey 5 has its alerts off." Yeah, unfortunately, we're in StreamYard today. And despite me asking them many, many times, I know it would be fairly easy to implement. They refuse to add an HTML layer to the StreamYard stream. It could be done. I know it's possible. It is very easy to implement. And there's other StreamYard alternatives that have this implemented already, and they don't put it in their free package. They charge you to be in the professional package to get this feature. And I told StreamYard I would be happy. I'd be happy to keep paying them. I'd be happy to pay the professional rate if they added this damn feature. But they refuse. They yet refuse to do it. So it upsets me that we can't do the reactions. It should be done. It should stream. I have faith. I have faith of the heart that StreamYard will one day add the feature. But it's just yet to be added. It's yet to be added. Chrono says alarm, red alarm, red alarm. Bird makes things go. Gap after dark says, hey Bird, hey all, hey Gap. Rockstar says, I might say the real gift is a few people not being here, but they would be salty of me. John O'Reilly says a Bird live stream apology is worth 2 in the bush. Coming clean, asks Kronos. I'm always coming clean. Wait, that sounds dirty somehow. Dan Ben just finished watching a video and this came on automatically. Awesome. Awesome. Rockstar says, I'm waiting for a butt here. Yo, you got it. You got it. Kronos says no bird butt. Jim's Landscape LLC says good morning and hello. Rockstar says, wait, Bird's drunk. He said, I'm a very fine person. Indeed. And Jim has a link to his sorry remastered video. Gap says, hey to Rock Solid. Rock Solid asks, are you not a very fine person? He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Although he says he's an asshole. But he's not. He only tries to play an asshole. It was nothing that needed anyone's response, quite honestly. I understand that, Rock. I felt like I needed to respond, but I couldn't. Because I am also an asshole. Although I don't try to play it, I just know I am. Jim says hi to Gap. Last son of K says Kapla Bird in chat. Kapla. Last son of K. Rock says, I do appreciate the sentiment. He has been fighting since 2009. He is no longer lucid and quite honestly deserves rest. I'm amazed he's still alive. He's not had any food or drink in almost 2 weeks. The only thing he is getting is morphine through his cancer port. God damn, Rox. I am so sorry. He is one tough son of a bitch. Dan Lee says, early bird. Hey, Stingin. Kronos says, hey to Mamo Pray. She says, hey back, Kronos. Roxanne says, I was glad looking back on my dad. He just had a massive heart attack, was there and was gone. My brother suffered for over 14 years, and at the end, cancer took his ability to communicate. Yeah, it's like, I'm so sorry. Um, Roxanne says, you need a prescription for fuck it all. Yeah, we all do. We all do. Dan Van says, I was watching a live video recently where someone was laughing about something, and I said I wasn't there. I wasn't there. There's a medical condition that some people have, but they just kept laughing and laughing. Yeah, that's a medical issue. Brian says, there's no reason to feel bad. I celebrate his life. I will absolutely miss him, but I look forward to the day that he gets to hang out with my parents again. Resolute. I'm sorry, Resolute. I didn't want to bring this up for you. If you didn't want to talk about it, it's fine. Yeah, Kronos, at this point, what is there to type? You just, I'll be honest. One, I feel terrible for Rock Solid. I feel worse for his brother, obviously. And you just think, man, when my day comes, I agree. I hope it's more like Rock Solid's dad than Rock Solid's brother.
No. I need to interrupt.
Yes, Mama Fred.
I know you guys are talking about some serious, heavy stuff.
Mhm.
And I have those.
Oh, a Mama Fred story.
Yes, it's a short.
Mhm.
This is the God's honest truth. I had a friend that told me he didn't want anyone to come to his funeral. And I honestly couldn't understand it. And finally I said to him, why not? And he very bluntly told me, he said, because I want to outlive all my friends.
Mhm.
I never thought of it that way. But you know what? He didn't. He didn't outlive all his friends. Most of them. But I'm still here.
Hmm.
So you know, you never really know what's ahead. Try to make the best of whatever time we have on this earth. And if that requires me picking up this paper towel roll and hitting Bird on the head,
No, Mama Fred.
I hope everyone's smiling then. Bird is. That's it. I'll stop interrupting.
Thank you, Mama Fred. Daniel says, 13th light, good morning, Bird. How are you this morning? Hanging out, Daniel. Hanging out. Gaff After Dark says putting a prom on a boat makes a good horror movie. I think somebody ended up breaking their leg or something at the prom, going down the stairs, the boat stairs. Boats have narrow stairs. Kronos has to make a phone call. We all rock. Substance D, Kapla, Substance D. Kronos will be back. Daniel says, I remember my public school graduation dance. There was this pretty blonde girl who wanted to dance with me, but I was too shy. I was so shy. I didn't, but afterwards I kicked my own ass and wished I did. Yeah, but even had you dance with her, Daniel, it was public school graduation. Don't worry about it. Nothing was going to happen. Rock Solid says the older you get, the more inconsistent your streams will be. Fuck prostate. Yeah. Or actually, in my case, it really don't matter so much when I urinate these days. I've got a tube. Dan Van says UK did start doing school dances when you leave, but because of attitude of teens, some teachers told some students not to go because they probably have no one to dance with because they'll be found ugly. The UK started doing school dances when you leave, but because of attitude of teens, some teachers told some students not to go because they'll probably have no one to dance with because they'll be found ugly. The UK, I don't even. Yeah, it's possible. I don't see it. I guess anything's possible. Gap After Dark. Hello, Gap again. Captain Phantom Nerd says hello to you as well. Dan Ben says, do you want your pee stream to go into the toilet bowl? Yes. Damn it, Dan Ben. Dan, you surprise me sometimes. Yes, I do. Dan Ben says poop is annoying as you get older. Yeah, that is also true. Dan Ben says, don't worry. Ooh, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Dan Ben just got an advert for something beginning with F. I have no idea what it was. Was less than a few seconds long. Andy Garcia Kapla says, with you from East Chatstu, stream of lights, apparently connected overflow town of Bieber, then disappeared like it went a 3-door several witness. With you from east of Shasta stream of lights, apparently connected overflow town of Bieber, then disappeared like it went 3 a door, several witnesses. I said maybe a Starlink sat train. I'm a little confused, Andy, but I'm assuming you saw something in the sky that might have been Starlink satellites. I assume that's what you were trying to get across. LDG, hello LDG. Just hi bird. And LDG says, oh, smack Mamo Pray. And morning to everyone. And Resolute says, yes, Malfoy, beat the joy back into Bird. Dave G says, hey to LDG. The Random Menace says, Mamo Pray 570 is the new 50 anyway. It really is. Dan Ben says, Star Trek Section 31 movie event has announced its filming date, July 29th to March 13th, 2024. Schwario says, Berto Bray 5, Kapla. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Schwario. And hello to us all. And hello to Rock Solid. All right, Dan Ben says, a large percentage of teens don't want to be near anyone that they consider ugly. So a lot of people will be left alone. John writes, a bird passed on the boats and his hose prom. Boats and hose prom. It was nothing like that. I went to a weird high school. I guess I could. Okay, so I went to Edward R. Murrow High School, named after the famous journalist Edward R. Murrow. And do you imagine going to a school today named after a journalist? It wasn't quite. So New York City has, like, I don't know, 3 high schools for the gifted. And the top high school was Stuyvesant, still is, I think. Anyway, Stuyvesant had the interesting misfortune of being next to the Twin Towers, or close to the Twin Towers. It was not a place you wanted to be on September 11th. Although nobody died at Stuyvesant. They were probably covered with. Well, I guess it was still early. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but you didn't want to. It's not a place you want to be. And I couldn't. I certainly, no way in hell did I, even as a kid, did I want to go to Stuyvesant, for the sheer fact that it was in Manhattan, and it was way too far for me in South Brooklyn to get to Stuyvesant. It would take hours, and it was in Manhattan, and it's like, fuck you, no, I don't have any desire. And then the next best was Bronx Technical. Now, Bronx Technical was all about technical and science, and yeah, that was been up my ladder, except that it was even worse than Manhattan, because it was in the Bronx, which is further away, and that would have maybe taken 2 hours to get to. And irony of ironies, okay, it actually turned out that it really wasn't all that far away, because I ended up driving past it on my way to work. It's years later. It took a long time to get to, but I would drive past the school, and let me tell you, some of these kids, they weren't that smart, because they would fucking cross. Maybe they were smart, but they would cross a fucking highway, a fucking 6-lane, 3 in each way highway, not stop, no traffic lights, 55 or 60 mile per hour limit, maybe 50, but either way, way too fast. And there's like fucking chain link fences, and they're coming through the fences. They run across to the median, stop at the median. Nobody is letting them go. I certainly wasn't going to fucking let them go. You can't come to a stop on a fucking highway. And somehow they fucking run across 6 lanes of traffic just to get to fucking school. And the thing is, the high school is on top of the highway. The high school is on top of the highway, which means there could have been a door open on the other side of the highway if they wanted it. Crazy. It was crazy. Every day I would drive under Bronx High School assignments. And there was a third high school, but I forget what it was called. And then there was Murrow. Now, Murrow didn't need a separate test to get in, but it was separate in that you had the New York City granted first choice to people with like the highest of high grades on their, I don't remember. The point is, I was very lucky to get into Murrow. Right?
Yes.
Donald Reyes.
I'm trying to remember the percentile of people that you needed. It was a 3-tiered level. Whatever percentage was, say 20% needed to have 20% of their incoming population was accepted by their high grades, reading scores 98 or 99 percentile. Then the main body had to be your reading score had to be between. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, the main body had to 75.
To 75%.
Yeah, it was like.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I was very
remember the
lucky to get in.
studying on your school.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but so Murrow was a funny high school to get into, but I was very lucky to get into it. And the principal, he used to have funny ideas. Saul Bruckner, principal. He didn't want no professional sports teams, not professional, no high school sports teams. And it was weird because Murrow was next to Midwood Field. Midwood Field had perhaps the nicest high school football field in all of New York City. And I say maybe, absolutely. And the problem was that Midwood High School was nowhere near Midwood Field. Midwood Field was across the street from Murrow High School. So a lot of people used to think that was Murrow's field. It wasn't. We got to use it on occasion, but we had no football team. We had no basketball team. We had no soccer team. We had no anything team except chess. We had one of the greatest chess teams in the entire country, mostly because we had a high percentage of Russians. And the Russians, they loved their chess. Loved their chess. Dan Ben says, yeah, I surprised you. It might be because I'm not good at spelling that autocorrect. Dan, the thing with the pea stream was you wanted to go in the bowl and not onto your wall or shoe. Yes, I understand. Dan Ben, luckily they never did the school dance when he was at school. Well, not necessarily lucky. Dan Ben, I think the top chat all message button has changed location. Hakeem says, yeah, my school never had a dance either. It's not like I would have gone, though. Gavin, Blackburn wasn't expecting this. John Araki says, Bird, have you considered changing your channel name? That could revitalize your brand and attract new subs. Perhaps something to do with salt. Maybe Briny O'Prey 5. God damn it, John Araki. For a second, I almost thought you were serious. And I would have had to tell you that no, I have no desire to revitalize my brand. I have no desire to change the channel name. I appreciate it, the thought, I guess, but no, that's not something I intend to do. Stan Lee says, where were you on 9/11? Stan Lee, I was home. Well, actually, I was at work. It was a really, really weird day. A 1 in a million day for me. The problem was that the night before 9/11 was a very good friend's bachelor party. Now, why are we having a bachelor party on a Monday night? It was because his brother was in the Navy, and this was the only day his brother could get off. So we were having the bachelor party Monday night, and as much as I hate New York City, this is where he wanted to have his bachelor party. So I went into New York City on a Monday night doing things I never do, okay? Including going to the first strip club in New York I ever went to. Yeah, in New York. I had a good time. I had a pretty good time. And I was looking up at the World Trade Center at one part during the night. And I was saying, Joe, you're getting older. I got a job. It's time. Maybe it's time I rethink this whole no Manhattan policy. I honestly, that's what I was looking at the World Trade Center. And I was saying, maybe it's time to rethink the no Manhattan policy. Maybe I've been wrong this whole life. maybe I should start to enjoy the city. Maybe I should start to enjoy what everyone else is seeing about this place. Overlook the urine smell and the nonsense of homelessness. And you got to understand, September 10th, 2001, New York City was a lot cleaner, a lot cleaner than it is right now. It was a lot nicer than it is right now. We were peak Giuliani. Mayor Giuliani had the city cleaned up. Things were good. It was a much nicer city. And I honestly was like, literally, so, this is it. This might be the day that I start becoming a city person. I mean, I had friends who loved going to the city. I never went. I was like, fuck this. No, fuck New York. I don't want to go in. I hated being there. But that day, I was literally like, you know what? This could be the first day of the rest of my life. Yeah, it's probably worth going in again. And then literally the next day, 9/11. 9/11. The next day. The next day. I went home. It was late night, middle of the night. I got home to my apartment, which was the first time I was living. I'd only been living alone. I don't know, less than a year, probably less than 6 months. I hadn't been living alone all that long. And so it was relatively new to me to be home. And I used to turn on my alarm clock, and I used to set my alarm clock before I would leave for work. Okay, I used to set my alarm clock for the next morning before I left for work, so I didn't forget to leave it when I got home, which works fine, assuming that you are alive and come home at night and actually wake up the next day in your bed. If I didn't get home that day for whatever reason, that would mean my alarm clock would go off quite loud and nobody would be there to turn it off. And as a young whippersnapper, it never once crossed my head that, hey, schmuck, maybe your neighbors don't want to hear your loud ass alarm clock for the hours it would take for somebody to come notice that you're not there. That for whatever reason, you didn't make it home last night. Now, granted, the only likely reason I wouldn't make it home would be as if I ended up at some other woman's apartment and ended up falling in love and deciding we were going to get married and whatnot, and who knows what. But I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I had a pretty good shot of being home. But, not if there's a fucking terror attack and all the bridges are closed, which is what happened. So I ended up staying in New Rochelle where I worked because luckily I have working at a fucking company that has extra apartments. The company had apartments. What fucking company has apartments? I should have been asking myself that question. But yeah, I at an apartment that the company just had. They just paid for. They had several apartments and they put me up at one with a coworker. weird, weird. Anyway, so I stayed home that day. No, I didn't stay home. I stayed at work that whole day. I went to the store and bought new clothes, so I had stuff to wear the next day. And yeah, we were. I was at my computer in my office when Mama Prey called to tell me about the plane hitting the first tower. So by the time I made it up to the main level where we had a television, I saw the plane hit the second tower, and I assumed that they were replaying the footage of the plane hitting the first tower. So I was like, wow. Like, well, how did they get that footage so quickly? And I said, well, why is the building already on fire? That doesn't make any sense. And then I get there and I get the audio and we hear that a second plane just hit the second tower. And I'm like, holy shit. Then it all hit us. You know, everybody realized then that this wasn't a mistake. I mean, everybody, as best I could tell, everybody thought it was a mistake, the first plane. Nobody really thought it was nobody really thought it was an attack on the first plane. Everybody thought everybody thought it was just a mistake. But once the second plane hit, holy shit. Then everybody was putting out their theories as to what happened and who did it. And it was traumatic, obviously. It was traumatic as fuck. And we didn't know at that time just how much our lives would change. And I'll be honest, life changed and we never went back. Things have never gotten better. 9/11 destroyed this country. I hate to say it, but Osama bin Laden probably got what he wanted. He probably got exactly what he wanted. We tore ourselves a fucking part. We were on the road to relative success. We were in a much better state pre 9/11 than after. Yeah, right after 9/11, we had a short amount of time where everybody was together. There was, you know, we became united like never before right after 9/11 with the flags and everybody talking about how much they loved each other and they loved America, and things were, for 4 or 5 years, everything was hunky dory. And then of course, well, things weren't, and all the old cracks started forming again. And well, now everybody will just blame George W. Bush, and then they blame Obama, and then they blame Trump, and then, well, that's enough. So all the blame goes back to Trump at this point for ruining America, even though it started falling apart pretty much right after 9/11. That's where I was. Is Birdo Prey 5's one channel any good? Hashtag steal birds garbage. Johnny Rice's Bird of Prey 2 was twice as good as Bird of Prey 1. Hey, Cody guy. Johnny Rice's Bird abandoned his true passion, dance, for computer science. Just cheerleaders. No, we didn't have any fucking cheerleaders. Are you sure it wasn't all girls school? I assure you it wasn't. It was not an all girls school. Stanley didn't even attend his high school prom. Bird, how far is 2 hours for you? For me, I can go 150 miles in 2 hours. Oh, okay. Well, in New York City, 2 hours is about 18 miles. Stanley was just happy to be finally let out of that prison. Kronos' Bird is still burden. Dan Ben says, yeah, my secondary school also had a field out back, which connected to another park, like area, both owned by the council. So use the school field, you have to ask the council. How did I end up 5 minutes behind? Asked Gorilla. It's a good question. John Rice's Bird was a weekend flight instructor leading up to 9/11. He decided to retire and focus on his main job shortly after for some reason. Thank you. Anyway, guys, give me 1 second. I gotta take a couple of bites. I probably should have played a video first. Give me a minute. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, we can play some.
Bird of Prey 5. Hail, Karoga.
Okay, 1 more minute. All right. Less than 1 minute. Less than 2.
Roger. Old City Station at 2200 hours. All is well.
Understood. All stations clear.
You amaze me, Commander.
Oh, how is that?
A 20-year space veteran, yet you choose the worst duty station in town. I mean, look at this place. This is the hind end of space.
Peace and quiet appeals to me, Lieutenant.
Yeah, well, maybe that's okay for someone like you, whose career is winding down. But me, I need some challenge in my life, some adventure, maybe even just a surprise or two.
Well, you know what they say, Lieutenant. Be careful what you wish for. You may get it.
Good evening, Commander. Is everything ready?
Step into my parlor, gentlemen.
That's Admiral Kirk, my God.
Very good for you, Lieutenant.
But it's damn irregular. No destination orders, no encoded IDs.
All true.
Well, what are we gonna do about it?
I'm not gonna do anything about it. You're gonna sit in the closet.
The closet? What, have you lost all your sense of reality?
This isn't reality. This is fantasy. You wanted adventure? How's this? The old adrenaline going? Huh? Good boy. Now get in the closet.
Okay.
Go on. Go on.
I'll just get in the closet. Okay.
I'm glad you're on our side. Can you handle that,
Oh, I'll have Mr. Adventure eating out of my hands, sir. And I'll see all of you at the rendezvous. Oh, and Admiral, all my hopes.
Hello, world. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back. No, Kronos, I was not strip teasing. Gavin Blackburn says, I was at work on 9/11. We only had radio. I thought when the first plane hit, it was a little Cessna light plane or something. It was only later we realized what was happening. Yeah, I can imagine. Kronos woke up and saw a second attack. Sorry to hear that, Kronos, I guess. Well, I guess not too sorry. At least you got to see it. John Arias says, Bird likes thick ratchet women with tattoos and cesarean scars dancing to contemporary music. No. Pig, dog, animal. No, Kronos, we only go to high class joints. Kronos says, is Bird ranting? I don't think I was ranting. I was just trying to tell what was going on. Kronos says, if so, keep it up. Bird tail, oh pray. Miss Lundell's Groovy Movies is kapla. Only got the notification a few seconds ago. Sorry about that, Miss Lundell. Dave G says the company has plenty of apartments. If your company has apartments, you have to wonder why. Why does my liquor import company have apartments? Dan Ben says London had the terror attack in 2005. I remember the singing video of underground stations, smoke coming out of the entrances, and the bus with no roof because it was blown off from the inside. Yeah, I guess those pictures are going to stay with you your whole life. Kronos says, I try not to rethink things. However, it's important to remember berries thing. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Stanley says, I heard it on the radio and assumed it was just like a small private Cessna or something. Dan Benz, I remembered over the years, there have been various attacks on London Bridge, including people have been stabbed. Yeah. Kronos will wipe his ass with ladder. Dan Ben says, I remember the news story of a lady on the airplane with the baby and the milk formula, and if she had mixed it, it would have killed everyone. And that's why you're not allowed to carry some liquids on planes. I don't remember hearing that. Hakeem says, I was in high school in my electronics class. The VP came in and said the school was closed. Everybody go home. That would have been crazy. Crow says, and then there was the stupid Patriot Act. Crow says, Bush was an asshole. Well, the jury is yet to be fully settled on that. Cam Scratch Car says, hey, Cam. Says, Bird of Prey, you couldn't be more correct. There's a before and after. Yeah, it was the defining moment. It was more so than Y2K, the defining moment of the 21st century. Don't anybody tell me Y2K was 20th century. Fuck you. You know what I mean. Chrono says, I would say I hate Bush, but that would be hilarious. The Prez. Really, Kronos? You hate Bush? Huh. Dave G says, I didn't go to high school prom either. Seems like not many people did. Miss Lodell is way past time to drain the swamp. Cam Gam says, hello, everyone. I was in bed with my girlfriend at the time listening to Howard Stern when the first plane hit. Wow. I've got the Howard Stern MP3 file for the entire 9/11 episode. Not that I listened to Howard Stern at the time. I mean, obviously I knew who Howard Stern was, and I had some interest in Howard Stern as a comedian. He had done a couple of whatchamacall, New Year's pay-per-view events during those days that I would watch on New Year's Eve on pay-per-view, because we didn't have to pay per view to see it, but I got to see it anyway. And those were fun. But yeah, I knew we did the radio show, but I didn't give a shit. I knew a lot of people in high school, though, they listened to him in high school, and after high school into college, after college, even though I had a job, and it was still Howard Stern, or like, still that guy's still on the radio, apparently. Anyway, so I downloaded the MP3, like, I don't know, the week after 9/11. Like this file that was a 2 or 3 hour radio program, probably down at lowest bit rate you could do. I downloaded it right away because I figured it was history, and I didn't listen to it till years and years later that I listened to it for the first time, all the way through. And yeah, it definitely reminds you the episode started on September 10th and it ended on September 11th, and nothing was ever the same since. Nothing was ever the same since. LDG says, sorry. Why are you sorry, LDG? Sorry, Bird, I have not been listening the whole time, busy working, but wanted to ask if we are still on for Enterprise today. Sorry if you already addressed this. I had not. And to be completely honest, I forgot. I think so. If I end this stream in the next hour, I should have time to get ready for Enterprise. So yeah, we'll say we're on for Enterprise. And Kronos says Bush was before he got into politics. Gotcha. Dan Ben says, one of those news stories where Princess Diana or the news lady dying, I remember seeing it on TV and running into mom's bedroom and saying the lady died. And Kronos says, I still don't like the leftoids. Damn commies. Dan Ben, he meant to include as a kid. I understand, Dan. You ran into your mom's room as a kid. We didn't think you were an adult. Kronos says this show is rated R. Indeed. And Kronos says, wow, the gay gals. Cam says, I went upstairs and turned on the TV, saw the second plane hit, watched all day at work as it unfolded. Things have never been the same after that. Yeah, it was eerie as fuck because, like I said, I was at work. Work didn't know like what happened. We had a couple of guys who had wives who worked at the Twin Towers, or one who had a wife who worked there, one who had, I don't know, a friend or something. And as it turned out, they were all okay. So, but you know, we were there and we knew this day was never going to be the same, but we also didn't know exactly how much life was going to change. And so when it became apparent that no work was going to be done that day for whatever reason, the party planning committee, for those who watch The Office, decided it would be time to order food in for everybody. So I don't know why, but I guess I figured better everybody stay in the office than go to the mall nearby and get food. I mean, we weren't under a terror attack at that point. Nobody, but I guess people didn't want to leave the TV. So they ordered food in for everybody, which is like, I don't know, family style fucking sandwiches or something. And I'm standing there. You see the wreckage of the towers on a big screen projection television, which was the latest technology at the time. It was the only way to have a big screen TV projection, rear projection. And like I see my coworkers, and some of them are like going to town on hero sandwiches. Watch nervous eating, Mama Price says. I guess I was one of the few times in my life I couldn't. I could not eat, and I was just, oh my God. John Araki says Bird's depression is inversely related to his poker and blackjack winnings. You know what, John? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The days I do better on blackjack and poker, I'm not nearly as depressed. I'm not nearly as depressed. Dan Ben puts in the heart for Dax. Was that Garrick? Asked Kronos. No. Do you have an opinion on the new song by the Beatles? Nope. No opinion. I mean, I know of the song, but I don't even think I heard the song unless Deej played the song. I don't think I've taken the time to listen to it because, as they say, I could not care less. Who was that white hair guy? I don't know. What are we talking about? White hair guy. What did we play? We played Kissing Dax. when he played Uhura. John Araki says, I miss DS9. I'm sad they never revisited the series and its characters. They have in Lower Decks. And they kind of did in the Deep Space Nine documentary, What We Leave Behind. I hope I spelled her name correctly, says Kronos. Garrick. Nicole Nichols. Yes, I think it's close. Daniel's Hot Topics. I love this movie. Dave G says, I thought the stars were snow at first, like a Christmas shore. Cam says, Kronos greets LDG hi, and Dan Ben howdy. Is there a reason why Nicole was only at the beginning and the end of the search for Spock? I'm guessing it's just where they could put her character. They didn't write her character in anywhere else. Kronos says, whatever happened to Cisco? Mr. Londora. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Mr. Londell's groovy movies. Says Uhura. That probably her cutest. Hakeem says, I wonder, will they ever reboot Deep Space Nine? I hope not. Bandan, says Dave G. Miss Lundell says, Kronos Cisco is persona non grata among the Trek elite. And Kronos doesn't know Latin. Miss Lundell says, leave DS9 alone. It's perfect just the way it is. Daniel's Hot Topics says, I was in grade 9 English class early in the morning when they rolled in a TV and we saw the planes hit the Twin Towers on 9/11. John Araki says, could you imagine Bird in school today? He would have 43 more genders to invite to the prom. And emo Bird would be very popular. Kronos' Bird can change into that many genders? Question mark. John Araki says, woke Bird would be protesting the meat in school lunches. I'm not a transformer. Some of those London Bridge things were terror related, but not all of them. You like more government? No, Kronos. Resolute says, no, it's settled. Bush was an asshole. Both of them. Really? Poppy Bush too? He was kind of a nice guy. LDG says, I was listening to Howard also during 9/11. I was on my way to an interview for the Ritz-Carlton. You were on your way to an interview? Yeah, I guess so. That checks out. Y2K was the cruelest joke ever played on an impressionable society. Miss Lundell. Kronos can't wait till Y3K. There is a new Y2K coming. When all the Linux systems won't be able to come past a certain date. There was a date that was being held. What is the date? I would say it's in the 2020s or something, but It might be. Hopefully it's 2029. Linux date Y2K, like year 2038. 2038 will be for Linux, much like the old Y2K Millennium Bug in 2000. That's going to be a tough one. See, that is going to be a tough one. Y2K for Linux world is the year 2038. And this was written in 2015. All computer systems rely heavily on clocks from almost any function, blah, blah, blah. The year 2038 will be for Linux, much like the old Y2K Millennium Bug back in 2000, whereby computers could not count past the year 1999, as they were encoded in just 2 digits, and 2000 would appear as 1900. Only this time it had to do with how the time is stored. This will affect only 32-bit Linux systems, as all 32-bit kernels store their time and date as a signed 32-bit number that counts upwards from 000 on 1 January 1970. When these systems reach January 2038, they will go back to the date they started counting, and there's not enough space to count any further. Okay, so it's just the 32-bit systems. So all the new ones are 64. Okay. Well, that's still going to be probably, well, we still got another, okay, we got quite a while. I guess there's a chance we won't have to worry about it as much. I'm sure somewhere, though, some system will, could you pull homes? I'm sure somewhere some system will fuck up. Okay, I'm actually feel pretty good to know that's only 32-bit systems. I was a wee bit worried. Not that I really think I will be around to worry about it.
15 years.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's only 15. 14. Okay, well, then I was going to set a calendar reminder just in case.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because I plan to be here.
Yeah, Mom will pray. Mom will pray will be here. Nephew will pray, still won't be able to vote. I mean, maybe by then they'll change. Oh, yeah, 18. He can vote. Yeah, that's true. He'd be voting probably quicker than that. Resolute says Y2K was the first time they knew they could make the world believe anything. 2 decades later, and we all know what they did with that information. Chrono says you have to pick the lesser of 2 evils. Well, why pick the lesser 2 evils? Knowledge driven. Hello, knowledge driven. Says the last criminal prosecutions we had, including convictions, was the 1987 savings and loan crisis where the execs went to jail. I'm sure that must mean something. Obviously, the last criminal prosecutions we had, including convictions, is updated every single day. Maybe the latest criminal prosecutions about the savings and loan crisis or from the government. I mean, there's clearly a limiter on that. Dave G says the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Indeed, and Kronos likes cheese. Springtime. Says Bird 45, remember in your dreams, Sassy has her own Saturday morning cartoon franchise with a lot of lore each night. The Random Menace says, since this is a depression stream, one of my cats is missing since this month. I'm sorry, Random Menace. Hopefully you find them. Or they find you. Maybe look for it where the rail yard is coming in. It'll be there soon. Resolute Germs says there's no new Beatles song. It was an AI song made to sound like the Beatles. Jam Band says you go back 16 minutes and 31 seconds from now, you'll find that Whitehead guy. Well, I can't do that now. Kronos can't believe that he once pooped in a diaper. Kronos, I bet it was a lot more than once. Gorilla says I was in the 4th grade. Professor Brandy Specs. Hello, Professor. Dan Van says at secondary school, I remember there's a TV video combo attached to the high up on a wall. And the one time it came off and smashed all over the floor very loudly. Saying hello to Professor. The Linux date is year 2038. He knew. He knew. Professor Brainy Specs knew it offhand. I guess he's getting all the library's computers ready to fail. Resolute Germs is at the rate we're going, it will only be a problem for the cockroaches. Kronos has 2 digits. I hope you have more than that, Kronos. What the fuck? Daniel's Hot Topics says, I was surprised when Megatron joined the Autobots because Megatron was a Decepticon and the enemy leader of the Decepticons against the Autobots. But strangely, he switched sides and became an Autobot. What the fuck are you talking about, Daniel? Okay, obviously this is in a comic book or a video or something, but I don't believe it and I don't trust them. Do not trust Megatron. Miss Lundell says, so Linux is going to go wonky and what, start borging everyone. I don't know. All your bank accounts are going to get erased. So what's going to happen? Praise be to Avis, says John Araki. The Orville needs another season, says Chris. Hey, Admiral Teague Kapla. Dan Ben says, what is chowder? I keep getting adverts for new chicken chowder coming to UK supermarkets. Dan Ben knows that Chowder was in that Simpsons episode with Quimby's nephew. Yeah. Chowder. Chowder. Anyway. So I guess we made it I made it through most of the chat. I skipped a lot at the end. Apologies. Hakeem says, I was a major trans fat and only know of Dinobot switching. I am a major trans fan. I'm a major Transformers fan and only know of Dinobot switching sides, but never heard of Megatron becoming an Autobot. Professor Brainy Specs' Bird, why would I make the library computers fail? I don't know, but I heard you were, you work at the library, and so it'd be in your interest to make it so that you need more library. We need more funding for our libraries, and we need more funding if they were to fail. Anyway, guys, I guess we're going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I would like to try and get ready for a stream later today, the Enterprise stream. But yeah, let me get to work on that. And homeless shelter equal public libraries. Wow. Wow. I jaloged twice already. But yeah, I probably got to do it again. Thank you, Kronos. Thank you all, Kapsla, all, and Bird out.